You've not got one. If you had to bet your life savings on who would win that fight, who would you say?
Whoever do extra effort in the training will win. And then if he doesn't work hard.
It's getting closer and closer to a showdown with Inoue and Nakatani. If anyone could upset the apple cart, I think it would be Nakatani.
Manny Pacquiao weighed in on the highly anticipated collision between Junto Nakatani and Naoya Inoue, and he came with a clear perspective. This is an exciting fight, in his view, one worth the anticipation surrounding it. While Pacquiao acknowledges that Inoue has established himself as the dominant force in this matchup, he isn't ready to count Nakatani out. The physical advantages Nakatani carries, combined with his sense of timing and the genuine punching threat he brings into the ring, set him apart from the rest of the division. In Pacquiao's assessment, if anyone has the specific tools to pull off a surprise result against Inoue, it's Nakatani, and nobody else comes close.
Depends on both, like how they prepare the fight, but you know, both has a.
Teddy Atlas came out in full agreement with Pacquiao's assessment, landing on the same conclusion from a different angle. If there is one fighter in the equation with a realistic path to turning this fight on its head, Atlas is convinced it's Junto Nakatani. The reasoning he points to is rooted in what makes Nakatani physically and mentally distinct from everyone else Inoue has faced. The size advantage, the calm and collected presence he maintains under pressure, and the legitimate power he carries in his hands. That specific combination, Atlas argues, is precisely what's needed to introduce real problems for Inoue that others simply haven't been able to create.
I don't think Inoue and his people should. I'm not saying they shouldn't fight him at the right time, but that's the kind of fight you don't jump, because that could upset the apple cart. He's that good. I'm not saying he beats Inoue. I ain't going against Inoue, but I'm saying that that's a big risk.
You got me really excited talking about the potential of the Inoue fight. Obviously, Nakatani still at 118 pounds. Inoue, the king, at 122 pounds. So, yeah, maybe you're right, and maybe that's what we see now.
A victory over Inoue wouldn't just be a win on Nakatani's record. It would be a career-altering moment. Pulling off that kind of result on that stage would send shockwaves through the boxing world and instantly reframe how the global audience sees him. Overnight, he transforms from a respected contender into a must-see name that promoters, networks, and fans all want a piece of. The doors that open from there are significant. Bigger platforms, the possibility of testing himself at higher weight classes, and the kind of elite championship matchups that were previously out of reach. One fight, one result, an entirely different future.
If Junto Nakatani springs the upset, Malik, you said it wouldn't even be an upset, right? Do you think that would mean, as I said earlier, we would see a rematch because Inoue is such a big star? Or are there other possibilities for Nakatani, Malik?
Max, it's this thing in boxing that goes on, right? That sometimes when the right guy wins, big things happen in boxing, bigger things happen in boxing. But in this case, not saying Nakatani would be the wrong guy, but the numbers say that he shouldn't win. And if he win, he doesn't, in my opinion, people won't call for and demand the crossover fights like him fighting Ben Rodriguez, like him fighting Espinoza. And that's just like that I would like that would be a little bit the unfair part about boxing, is because some guys are picked because the bigger fights fans get more excited about, and if the underdog, quote unquote, with Nakatani is supposed to be coming and win, a lot of people's like, okay, well, I guess where do we go from here now? They're not as excited. But saying that, I still have Nakatani winning the fight.
Undefeated multi-division world champion Jesse Bam Rodriguez made his position clear. Whoever comes out on top between Inoue and Nakatani, he's ready and waiting for that fight. He holds both men in genuine respect. Make no mistake about that. But when it comes to picking a winner, Rodriguez didn't sit on the fence. In his estimation, Inoue's combination of hand speed, punching authority, and the seasoning that comes from competing at the highest level gives him the decisive edge in this matchup. Those qualities, Bam believes, are what will ultimately separate the two men and allow Inoue to maintain his grip on the division against elite-level opposition.
The line, not next, but definitely down the line would love to see you fight either against Nakatani or Inoue. Do you want to maybe say who you favor in that fight between the two?
I think Inoue wins the fight, just because he has more experience. He's been in the weight division longer than Nakatani has, so I do favor Inoue, but Nakatani, he does have a chance as well, just because he has that kind of one-punch power.
Maybe that could be the big fight in your hometown, right?
Yeah, hopefully. If not, I don't mind going to Japan either. I love going to Japan. I love
That would
spending.
be cool.
Yeah, I love spending time there. So.
Oh, so you have traveled there before?
Yeah, I've been there plenty of times, but like I said, either San Antonio or Japan, I don't care where it's at.
The Hernandez fight left a mark, not on Nakatani's record, but on his mindset. That controversial, pressure-filled battle against Sebastian Hernandez was the kind of experience that reveals something about a fighter's character. And what it revealed about Nakatani was this: he doesn't waste time. By all accounts, he went straight back to work the moment that chapter closed. No extended break, no prolonged reflection, just a return to the gym with a clear and focused agenda. Reports indicate that his preparation heading into the Inoue showdown has been centered on refining his timing, tightening his defensive game, and pushing his physical conditioning to a higher level. The Hernandez fight may have been a difficult test, but Nakatani appears to be using every lesson it taught him as fuel for what comes next.
Nakatani struggled with Hernandez, and I was just like, he didn't move his feet enough. He didn't throw enough sets of jabs. He didn't, fight at the right distance. He expected this guy to just go away. It really did a really good interview with Boxing Scene, and he was talking about
I just read that.
all of those things. The footwork, the movement, being able to fight at a distance. I was really impressed with that. Not only the eye to recognize it, but also that we're like, all right, we really got to work on this. And listen, you got a guy like Nakatani. I bet you he's an incredible student. You tell him to do something, he's going to do it. And I really think I know Vegas does not agree with me. I think that fight was better for Nakatani to have to go through those many rounds, go through a tough fight, deal with adversity, and then also realize this 122 is different. I can't just hit these guys and they turn to dust. I have to set things up. I got to be more deceptive, and especially with Inoue, you can't just use your jab as a rangefinder to throw power shots. It's not going to work. You're going to get hurt that way. So I think it was an eye-opening experience for Nakatani. That listen, I got to make adjustments to be better for Inoue, and now we're here.
Rather than viewing the Hernandez experience as a setback, Nakatani and those around him have treated it as a roadmap. That fight handed them a detailed blueprint of exactly where the work needed to happen before stepping into the ring with someone of Inoue's caliber. The training camp that followed has been built around 3 specific pillars: learning to operate effectively when the pressure is unrelenting, sharpening the accuracy of his output so that quality matches quantity, and ensuring his physical engine doesn't fade when the later rounds arrive and the fight is still very much alive. Every session, every drill, every round in the gym has been designed with Inoue in mind.
Boosting his versatility, crisp power, rapid footwork. A few weeks ago, according to this article, others in the gym expressed some concerns to Hernandez that Nakatani was slow to mix in the new changes effectively. Hernandez poo-pooed all that and said, when you're working on something, it takes time. On fight night, that's when we want to see the result.
What's about to unfold transcends the usual boundaries of a championship fight. This is a moment that Japanese boxing has never seen before. 2 undefeated champions, both operating at the absolute peak of their powers, sharing the same ring in a collision that the sport in Japan has been building toward for years. An all-Japan super clash of this magnitude doesn't come around often. In fact, it's never come around quite like this.
Biggest fight in the history of Japanese boxing. And that's a country that's rich in boxing history.
And it's so crazy that they're 122 pounders, the biggest fight in the history of their country. And it's two of their own. One obviously trains here in Nakatani. I don't know.
This fight carries a weight that goes far beyond 2 undefeated records on the line. Inoue versus Nakatani is being positioned as a landmark event. The kind that shatters viewership records, commands the attention of the entire global boxing community, and leaves a permanent mark on the sport's history. But what makes it truly significant runs even deeper than the numbers it will generate. Legacy is at stake. National pride is at stake. and the question of who establishes themselves as the undisputed face of a new and powerful era in Japanese boxing gets answered when that final bell rings.
This is going to be amazing. This is Inoue's toughest fight. It's the biggest fight in Japanese history. I am all for it. 8 a.m. May 2nd. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm super jacked up about this fight. I'm not sure why it's not getting the coverage that it deserves. And for them, they don't care. Obviously, they sold.
Over there. It is.
Yeah, they sold 55,000. They don't care. And they sold out a month ago. The tickets were gone a month ago. That's crazy. So speaking about UK is a smaller country, so that them selling out or they're getting 5 million views is. Listen, in Japan getting 55,000, that's per capita. That's even crazier. So and especially because they did it so fast. So talk about a boxing culture that's really dialed in, because this fight is as good as it gets in the lighter weights, man. I mean, the fact that we can't go sucks, so we do have to watch it Saturday.
It's worth noting that even as Pacquiao backed Nakatani to come out on top, his admiration for Inoue as a fighter remains completely genuine. There's no contradiction there. He simply appreciates what Inoue brings to the sport on a personal level. The speed, the explosive unpredictability, the way he commands a fight from the opening bell. These are qualities that Pacquiao finds genuinely compelling to watch. The respect he holds for Inoue's dominance and the excitement he consistently delivers inside the ring is real, regardless of where Pacquiao's prediction lands.
Favorite fighter now that's active?
Right now, Asian, like Naoya
Inoue, amazing fight.
He's a good fighter.
Pacquiao's praise for Inoue goes even deeper than simple admiration. It's personal. When he watches Inoue work inside the ring, he sees something familiar staring back at him. A younger version of himself. The speed, the sharp and relentless aggression, the constant forward march that never allows an opponent a moment to breathe. All of it mirrors the style that defined Pacquiao during the years when he was dismantling the sport's best one division at a time. What Pacquiao zeroes in on specifically is Inoue's ability to close the gap between himself and an opponent in an instant, unleash rapid combination after combination, and sustain that suffocating pressure deep into a fight without ever letting the intensity drop. That formula in Pacquiao's experience is what makes a fighter genuinely dangerous at the elite level, not just occasionally threatening, but consistently overwhelming. And even though Pacquiao has gone on record believing Nakatani carries the tools to potentially derail Inoue's run, that prediction doesn't diminish his respect for what Inoue represents. In his eyes, Inoue stands among the most complete and electrifying fighters competing in boxing today. A talent capable of ascending through multiple divisions and leaving a lasting mark on the sport fueled purely by his ability and the fire he brings every single time he steps between the ropes.
Inoue, I'm proud of him. He's from Japan in Asia, in our place. So his style is like when I was young, like 15, like when I was 115, 122, 115. Inoue is, he can fight in different division. If you want my advice on how to do, what to do, I can give him advice.
You can get him to 8 divisions?
I don't know. 8 divisions.
Max Kellerman raised a fascinating possibility that Naoya Inoue may be on a genuine path toward becoming the defining pound-for-pound fighter of his generation. But Kellerman was quick to add the necessary context. That particular conversation has never been simple, and it never will be. Throughout boxing history, the pound-for-pound debate has played out differently depending on the era. Sometimes one fighter separates himself so clearly from everyone else that the argument practically makes itself. Other times, a handful of elite performers sit so closely together that where you land depends almost entirely on personal perspective and what qualities you value most in a fighter. Kellerman offered his own evolution on the matter openly. There was a period where Terence Crawford held that top spot in his estimation, undeniable at his peak, virtually untouchable. But his current thinking has shifted toward Alexander Usyk. That said, Inoue hasn't been pushed out of the conversation. Far from it, particularly if Crawford's active days are behind him. The case for Inoue only becomes stronger. And then there's the timing factor, perhaps the most compelling element of all. Usyk, for all his greatness, is navigating the later chapter of an extraordinary career. Inoue, by contrast, is operating right in the heart of his prime, continuing to dismantle elite opposition and actively seeking out bigger challenges across different weight classes. That combination of peak performance and upward trajectory, Kellerman suggests, could be exactly what ultimately tips the scales in Inoue's favor.
Look, there will be those in any given era. There's sometimes a guy who's clearly number one, but oftentimes there are 2 or 3 guys who are vying for that spot. And according to certain people, Chocolatito was the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world for a year or 2, right? Not on my list, but on many other people's list. Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya topped some lists. Not mine. I thought it was always pretty clearly Roy Jones back then, and then followed by Floyd Mayweather. But for other people, it was a little bit different. And in this era, while I thought it was Terrence Crawford, and now it is Usyk, you have people who can make a case for Inoue. And I think that case becomes stronger if there's no Crawford at all. Usyk is 38, and Inoue continues to fight elite competition and looking for bigger challenges in other weight classes even. And Usyk is in kind of the sunset.
What separates Inoue from the rest isn't any single attribute. It's the rare equilibrium he maintains across every dimension of the sport. Physically, mentally, and technically, he operates at an elite level in all 3 areas simultaneously, and that balance is what makes him such a uniquely stable and efficient force inside the ring. The foundation of his style is built on a sharp, educated jab that does more than just score points. It controls the entire landscape of a fight. Layer that on top of sophisticated footwork and purposeful movement, and you have a fighter who can dictate distance, dictate tempo, and launch attacks from multiple ranges with surgical precision. But perhaps what makes Inoue most dangerous is what happens between his ears. He doesn't just react, he reads, constantly processing what's in front of him, identifying patterns, adjusting his approach in real time, and selecting exactly the right tool for exactly the right moment. That level of ring intelligence, combined with the fundamental discipline to execute under pressure, gives him the ability to dismantle defensive styles that would neutralize a less cerebral fighter. He doesn't need to overwhelm opponents with sheer aggression. Instead, he dismantles them through timing, positioning, and a calculated pressure that builds gradually until the openings he's been engineering finally appear. That's not just skill, that's mastery.
Watch like Michael Myers back in the days, Freddy Krueger and all of them. I'm old school. I ain't this new school shit. Old school. If y'all ever see them up, fall down, they walk at the same pace. You know what I'm saying? You running like hell and they on your ass. They on your ass. You don't never see them trip. You don't never see them fall. Yeah. Balanced like hell. Balanced. That's why they call Inoue the monster. Balanced. I'm talking about in every area. Like every area. As a fighter, from psychological to physical to skill to ring, you name it.
On the other side of this equation, Junto Nakatani is leaving nothing to chance. By all accounts, the intensity inside his training camp reflects exactly what's at stake. This is shaping up to be the most demanding fight of his career, and his preparation is being treated accordingly. The work being done in camp is detail-oriented and deliberate. Shadow boxing has become a central pillar of his sessions, used not just as a warm-up, but as a precision tool, a way to sharpen his timing, refine his movement, and deepen his awareness of space and positioning inside the ring. Through countless repetitions, he's sculpting combinations that are designed to flow seamlessly, arriving with both speed and accuracy when the moment demands execution under real pressure. But the technical work only tells part of the story. Equally important is the foundation being reinforced beneath it all. the balance, the defensive instincts, the ability to stay loose and composed even when the simulated conditions in the gym mirror the intensity of an actual fight night. Nakatani isn't just preparing to show up. He's preparing to perform at his absolute ceiling when it matters most.
And also, you have to think about the guy. I really feel it. I can feel that. Jump up and but
Everybody wanted to take down.
The underlying objective of everything happening in that gym comes down to one thing: merging quickness with composure in a way that allows Nakatani to own the range and set the rhythm against an opponent operating at the very top of the sport. Every drill, every round, every carefully crafted session is a reflection of something deeper than physical preparation. It speaks to a fighter who understands the magnitude of what's coming and has made a conscious commitment to arrive at his absolute best when that defining moment finally arrives.
Has a history.
Coach Rudy Hernandez didn't arrive at this conversation with anything less than genuine respect for Naoya Inoue. He acknowledged it plainly. Inoue is one of the most complete and genuinely dangerous fighters on the planet right now, and nobody inside Nakatani's camp is pretending otherwise. But respect and readiness are two different things, and Hernandez made absolutely certain that distinction was understood. The preparation happening inside their camp is anything but casual. It's serious, it's structured, and it's built on a firm belief that when fight night arrives, Junto Nakatani will be ready to go in there and get the job done against Inoue. The work being put in reflects that conviction at every level. Nakatani's timing is being sharpened to handle the pace Inoue operates at. His combination punching is being refined to flow with greater precision and purpose. And his defensive awareness is being stress-tested under pressure, specifically to prepare him for the kind of speed, power, and ring intelligence that Inoue brings in ways most opponents simply cannot replicate. Hernandez has built the entire camp around three non-negotiables: discipline, strategic clarity, and the ability to adapt in real time when the fight demands it. Admiration for the opponent exists, but it stops at the gym door. Once training begins, the mindset shifts entirely. The goal inside that camp is singular and unwavering: to prove, on the biggest stage available, that Junto Nakatani belongs at the very pinnacle of this sport.
Beat Inoue.
How do we beat Inoue? Hoping he blinks and we hit him. I have a lot of respect for Naoya Inoue. I think he's a great fighter. I've been a fan of his since I first saw him. I said, man, this guy is something special. There's something special about him, and I have a lot of respect for him too. And see, here's the thing: he's the top dog, and we're coming up. We have to come up, and when that day comes, we're going to fight to be.
Analysts are making a bold claim that the coming month may go down as one of the most extraordinary stretches in the history of professional boxing. And when you look at what's actually scheduled, it's difficult to argue against that assessment. The lineup reads like something a fight fan would dream up. Naoya Inoue against Junto Nakatani. David Benavidez squaring off with Gilberto Ramirez. Alexander Usyk stepping in against Rico Verhoeven. These aren't filler fights or manufactured matchups. These are genuine elite-level collisions involving some of the finest pound-for-pound talents and world champions the sport currently has to offer, all compressed into a single month. What makes the stretch particularly significant, experts point out, is the breadth of it. Multiple divisions are represented, and the quality doesn't thin out as you move down the card. Established names who have already cemented their places in the sport share the spotlight with hungry contenders still in the process of writing their stories. That combination is rare. Add in the fact that several of these bouts involve undefeated fighters putting everything on the line in unified title situations, and the stakes climb even higher. But perhaps the most consequential dimension of all is what these results will mean for the pound-for-pound landscape when the dust settles. Multiple fights on this schedule carry the weight to reshuffle the sport's hierarchy. And by the time the final bell rings on the last card of the month, boxing may look fundamentally different at the top.
The month of May, is crazy. And look, I might be exaggerating this next statement, but I think it's the best month I can remember in boxing. I can't remember a month this stacked with pound for pound fighters going at each other, world titles. I mean, you've got 4 guys in the top pound for pound, 4 guys right now in the top pound for pound fighting. 2 of those guys are fighting fantastic fights. Inoue, Nakatani. Inoue pound for pound number 2, Nakatani by most people's rankings, I think Ring have him at number 6. You've got Benavidez, who I have ranked number 7, fighting Zerdo. That's a great fight. Usyk's in action. I know it's not against a fellow boxer or a pound for pound in Rico, but it's always good to see Usyk. And Bivol is in action. It's good to see Bivol back. We haven't seen Bivol for a long time. So look, I think it's an incredible month.
But when everything is laid out and the full month is surveyed from start to finish, one fight rises above the rest without debate. Inoue versus Nakatani isn't just the centerpiece of this stacked schedule. It's being described by many as the most consequential All-Japan matchup the sport has ever produced. 2 undefeated fighters, 2 elite-level performers who sit among the most highly regarded names in boxing anywhere in the world. The stakes attached to this single bout are enormous, and the broader conversation reflects that. Many experts have gone as far as suggesting that this fight alone carries enough weight to define the entire month. That regardless of what else unfolds across every other card in every other division, the result of Inoue versus Nakatani will be the result that reverberates loudest. The impact on pound-for-pound rankings, the historical significance of 2 Japanese champions colliding at this level, and the sheer quality expected between those ropes all point to the same conclusion. Everything else this month happens in its shadow.
Crazy month. Honestly, that's a crazy month. The standout has to be Inoue Nakatani. I mean, that's as big as it gets, right? And it's a shame that I feel like it's not got the noise over here or in America, but they don't care. In Asia, that's as big as it gets. Again, you have 2 unbeaten fighters, multi-weight world champions, pound for pound number 2 versus pound for pound number 6. I did their last fights, and I think everyone's maybe sleeping on Nakatani because it wasn't the greatest performance, but he was in there against a very, very tough Mexican, and ultimately he got the job done. Got home, got the W, and now it sets up this absolute monster of...
So now it comes down to you. Where do you stand on this? Does Inoue's razor-sharp precision and airtight dominance carry him through? Or does Nakatani's size advantage, all-around versatility, and punching power give him everything he needs to pull off the unthinkable? This is your moment. Drop your prediction down in the comments and let the world know who you've got.